ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهن ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير صدق الله العظيم. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The verses which I've recited before you all is from chapter number 49 of the Quran, titled Surah Al-Hujurat, the private rooms, verses 10 to 13. In this beautiful surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala highlights the ethics of society, how people should conduct themselves when they interact with members around them in their society. In the time where we are living, it is very important for us as human beings to really apply these beautiful and timeless teachings so that we may live and coexist with one another. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty, says, the believers are brothers, so make peace between your brothers and be mindful of God so that you may be given mercy. Believers, no one group of men should mock at another, who may after all be better than them. No one group of women should mock at another, who may after all be better than them. Do not speak ill of one another. Do not use offensive nicknames for one another. How bad it is to be called a mischief maker after accepting faith. Those who do not repent of this behavior are evildoers. Believers, avoid making too many suspicions, too many assumptions. Some assumptions are sinful. And do not spy on one another or speak ill of people behind their backs. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of your dead brother? No, you would hate it. So be mindful of God. God is ever relenting, most merciful. People, we created you all from a single man and a single woman and made you into races and tribes so that you should get to know one another. In God's eyes, the most honored of you are the ones most mindful of Him. God is all-knowing, all aware. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Assalamu alaikum.
We thank you, Brother Hafiz Zakir Ahmed. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we now have a welcome address by Brother Zahiruddin, who is the event coordinator and also the outreach director of Muslim Ummah of North America, Ebun. Brother Zahiruddin.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and greetings upon you. It is an honor to welcome you all to the first Civic Engagement Banquet organized by one of the fastest growing Muslim organizations in North America, that is Muslim Ummah of North America. Particularly to the guest speakers and elected and non-elected officials who accepted our invitation and join us this evening. I really just want to say welcome to this Muslim gathering and thank you for your time. There are about 7 to 8 million Muslims according to some studies in the US who are highly educated. Most of them are professionals and entrepreneurs. American Muslims love this country, whether they born here or they consciously opted to become citizens of this land. They want to see America prosper and progress. They desire to contribute and also ready to help lawmakers and policy makers at the borough, city and state and federal levels. Unfortunately, some Muslims are upset and discouraged due to the Islamophobia activities by some hate mongers in the society. It should be a wake-up call for all of American Muslims. We should try to reach out to our neighbors and co-workers and share our values and what we stand for. Our rights are protected under this Constitution. In fact, as Ramsey Clark, the former Attorney General, once said, a right is not what someone gives you. A right is not what someone gives you. It is what no one can take from you. The good news is Muslim Americans are realizing the importance of getting involved in the civic life and political process. Gradually, they are coming out of their comfort zone and coming forward to do their part. However, it is not enough. Muslim leaders should encourage them to participate in the country's affairs fully. This program is the beginning towards that goal, and I hope American Muslims will show their strength through their numbers, talent, education, professionalism and dynamism, inshallah. Again, welcome you all. Please enjoy this wonderful program. May Allah help us and accept our efforts. Ameen.
Thank Brother Zahiruddin for his welcoming speech. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we now have short speeches by Muslim leaders from New York, and we have a number of leaders with us this evening. And at this hour, the very beginning, we would like to invite and call upon Brother Ziad Ramadan, who is the director of CARE New York, Council on American Islamic Relations. So we'd like to welcome Brother Ziad Ramadan.
Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just want to thank the organizers at Muna for putting together this very, very, very important event. The reason why it's important is that one of the major things that people say is lacking about our community in America is civic engagement. And look at the timing. This is perfect timing to have this conversation, because in only 1 month away, 1 month and a week away, is the most major election every 4 years in the country. We're going to elect or re-elect a president and Congress members, some states assembly members, Senate, council members. But here's the thing. I wanted to open up with something that Jackie Robinson, he was the first African-American professional baseball player in the major leagues. He said once, he said something to the extent of, a life that does not affect others is not worth living. He clearly believed that civic engagement, fighting for your rights, becoming an example, is something that everyone should do. You should affect your family. You should set an example for your community. So the people who are not like you see that people like you are good people. Now, one of the most important things that we do at this time of the year is we vote. And here's the funny thing about our community. Many times we'll go up to an elected official and we'll say, "We're with you." And he'll say, let me make up a name because I know my friend is here, so I'm going to use his name. He's going to say, "Okay, Shah Jahan." And then he'll say, now why did he do that? Because elected officials get a list of all the registered voters in their community, in their district. And so he'll see if Shah Jahan is even on the list registered to vote. He knows he's a citizen, but did he even register to vote? Maybe not. But maybe Shah Jahan did register to vote. But next to his name, believe it or not, these elected officials get a report, and it says Shah Jahan. Bubble, 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 bubble. 2011, 2010, 2009, 2008, 2007. And in those bubbles, if it's black, you voted. If it's empty, you didn't vote. So if Shah Jahan has 5 empty bubbles, he doesn't vote. That's why he did like this. He knows he's registered to vote, but he doesn't even go out to vote. So he knows it's an empty promise. So voting is something that's absolutely imperative for our community. It's our political voice, it's our political power. David Stockman was the budget director for Ronald Reagan. And they asked him once, they said, "Why do you keep on making budgets that are good for the rich people and good for the upper middle class? Why don't you ever make it for the poor? Why don't you make it for the lower middle class?" You know what his answer was? His answer was, if you don't vote, you don't get to play. If you don't vote, you don't get to play. Are the rich people more American than the people in the projects or in the trailer parks? No. Does it cost more for them to vote than it does for the people in the lower socioeconomic status? No. It's free. It's free. And what happens is we don't exercise our power. We don't exercise our vote. An elected official once said at a fundraiser to a group of people in a mansion, he must have raised $50,000 that night. Everybody in the room was Muslim. You know what he said? He said to me, "Ziad, what do you want me to talk to these people about?" I said, "Talk to them about civic engagement. Tell them how important it is for them to be parts of their community, to vote." You know what he turned around and said? He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me here to this wonderful home. Oh, the food is absolutely magnificent. And you are just such just wonderful hosts, and I admire you. This is in Westchester County, the richest district, the richest county in the world." Right? And he said, "You are one of the wealthiest classes. The Muslim educated community in Westchester is one of the wealthiest classes in my county. And I thank you so much, but guess what I'm going to do for you? I'm not going to do anything for you. I'm going to take your money and say thank you very much. I won't even need to make you promises. Guess what? You're no threat to me because you don't vote." When I look at the rolls of the people who are registered to vote in my district, guess what? I don't see no Mohammeds in there. I don't see no Aishas in there. It is so imperative for us to register to vote, to be part of the process in America, to be part of civic engagement. We have to be examples for our community. There is absolutely no reason why an administration, commissioners, anyone in the city, in the state, have to do anything for us if they feel we are no political threat. If we only represent 1% of the voting population, what's 1% going to do, left or right? Is it going to sway you to do something for them? No. We happen to be about 10% or more of this city. If that's the case, we should have that much representation in the voting pool. And so I'm saying to you that it is absolutely imperative at this time to wake up. Please, let's all wake up together. And I say wake up for the sake of my son, Tariq ibn Ziyad and Zainuddin. And I say for the sake of your children, because all of our parents had a harder time, whether growing up in this country or another country. And our lives are much easier than theirs is, isn't it? Well, we want our children to have an easier time than we did. So please, be engaged. Civic engagement is absolutely is an absolute necessity in this country. Without it, we don't have a voice. It's like we are mute. So please, be civically engaged. You're a wonderful, educated community, and all of us together, unified, can have a strong voice. There's an organization called NIMVIC, New York Muslim Voter and Information Club. Every Muslim should be part of this. If you're a registered voter, it doesn't matter what affiliation you are, Republican, Democrat, Independent, anything. With one voice together, we can pool our political voice. So please join NIMVIC, and please remember to vote, and please be part of your community, and please let's exercise our power as a community. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, and Jazakallahu khairan, Brother Ziyad Ramadan. Brothers and sisters, we now have Imam Talib Abdul Rashid, who is the president of Masjid Shura, New York. I would like to invite our honorable Imam, Imam Talib Abdul Rashid. Brothers and sisters, we're sorry that our honorable Imam is not present yet here, so we'd like to invite Brother Tariq Rahman, who is the Secretary General of Islamic Circle of North America. We'd like to invite Brother Tariq Rahman to deliver his short speech.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Brother Ziyad made it easy for me. I'm here just to say thank you, all of our guests. And also I want to thank Muna, because today's crowd shows different faces, not only Bangladeshi. You can see Pakistanis, you can see Arab speaking, you can see African brothers. So it shows that New York City only present here, Muslim community. The leadership of the Muslim community is present. And I want to congratulate Muna for their good program. And also I want to congratulate all the leaders, community leaders who came today, because this is very important that we engage ourselves with this process. This is very important that we struggle for our rights. In New York City, you can see what's going on, subway, the posters, and I was watching one sister.